Commercial and formal mining by Zimbabwe Mining Development Corporation ZMDC and its joint venture partners in Marange was preceded by an illegal Wild West army of over 40,000 small-scale miners who are believed to have extracted and smuggled more than 12.5 million carats of diamonds out of the country. Crimes such as prostitution, robbery, money laundering and murder were so rife, with many killed over sour deals or in acts of outright robbery. What is of interest is that the Kimberley process and its members never red-flagged the diamond activities by these illegal miners. Analysts strongly contend that these illegal mining activities were orchestrated by Africa Consolidated Resources ACR, which had had its license cancelled and could not operate legally in order to buy these diamonds at a cost cheaper than actual mining. Civic society raised concerns over human rights violations in Marange. In an attempt to fully address these concerns, Zimbabwe opted to suspend itself and offer a joint work plan that was adopted by the plenary, and organized and fair relocation of affected villagers. The affected villagers were going to be relocated to a farm called Ada Transao, which is in the natural region 2, endowed with good rains that are threefold what is received in Marange, rich soils for crop and livestock farming, and less than 30 kilometers from the city of Mutare. And the work of Africa's biggest mining-induced relocation exercise began.
The model that we have at Ada Transao is a model which is hard to find anywhere in Africa. Okay, you see, mining in Africa did not start with Marange. There are a lot of mining operations across the world, actually, and in Africa in particular. You will not come across a model as clean and user-friendly and as modern and urbanized as you see in Ada Transao.
Apo takabva uko tichiuya kumakuka takasvika kunoku zvazvakanaka nekuti takasvika kuine simba pekuti tigare. Zvirozvo zvatatakumbira kuti tinoda kuwakirwa dzimba, saka takasvika dzimba dziripo tikakumbirawo kuti toda kuwana kuine mvura, kuine mafuro emombe nokuti tine zvipfuyo, kuine wachengetedzo wenzvimbo tinozobirwa zvipfuyo zvedu, kuine vanozoonawo kurwara kwemombe nembudzi nekuti zvinogona kurwara. Zvakati wandei zvatakakumbira kuti tizowana zviri. Saka kunoku takasvika kuine wachengetedzo wenzvimbo zveshuwa, takasvika wariko mapurisa nanhasi ariko. Koita weveterinary wekuchengetedza zvipfuyo, takasvika wariko nanhasi wariko. Koita mafuro emombe, takasvika ariko nanhasi mafuro achiripo.
The three companies, Mbada Diamonds, Anjin, and Marange Resources, have to date built houses of brick and mortar for 894 families, a heaven when compared to the houses the villagers had in Marange. Anjin Investments has constructed a primary and secondary school separated by about 200 meters. Mbada Diamonds has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars for the refurbishment of Wellington Primary School on the outskirts of Ada Transao. To date, the corporate has constructed 5 classroom blocks and ablution facilities and procured school furniture and textbooks. In addition, Mbada Diamonds has provided building material for the construction of St. Noah School in Marange. Marange Resources also unveiled a school fees assistance program which saw the mining firm paying for 301 pupils both in Marange and Ada Transao. Anjin has constructed a clinic in its relocation area which is servicing the entire Ada Transao community. Mbada Diamonds has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars towards the health sector in Zimbabwe. Anjin has managed to provide tap water to the community, though not every household has piped water. Solar-powered 3-bedroomed houses were allocated to each family. Since the Marange community already had plenty of cattle, Mbada Diamonds refurbished a dysfunctional deep tank that had been lying idle for several years. A borehole and the water tank which serviced the deep tank were also repaired. Massive fowl runs with a capacity to hold over 10,000 birds at any given time have since been constructed. The company went further to train villagers in project management as well as to assist them register with the registrar of cooperatives. One of the major concerns raised by civic society and the relocated families is that of food security.
In terms of relocations, different companies have performed differently. For example, there is a company like Mbada Diamonds. They are still trying to help the families with livelihoods. They are still trying to give them even food handouts to make sure that they don't starve.
I think on the issue of Anjin, I'm happy with Anjin on the issue of roads. Because they've tarred those roads. And also the initiative that they'd made to provide tap water.
You find that there is need for the other companies as well to follow the example of Mbada Diamonds, to keep helping these families with emergency food relief, but also to invest in livelihoods so that the families are self-reliant. There is some progress in terms of education. Some schools have been made available, but there is now need for furniture, textbooks, and to ensure that most of these families which are struggling to earn a living can also get assistance in terms of school fees.
In Zimbabwe, the issue of sanctions, it has been politicized too much. And I really don't want to be seen like I'm drawing a political, I'm towing a political line. But my view is that anything that negatively impacts communities is not good. Any kind of activity, development project, anything that affects any policy, any move that violates on the rights of the community is not good for development. And I don't think it's good for the companies either. I don't think companies, they want to mine diamonds whilst communities are suffering. No, I don't think that.
There is no way that sanctions can impact positively on the Zimbabwean economy and by extension the Zimbabwean people. Sanctions is a disease itself, or some may call it a symptom of a disease, which shows poor relations, between nations. And I, as an individual, I wish that all forms of sanctions are removed, so that Zimbabwe can sell its minerals at a competitive rate for the benefit of its citizens.
Mining companies are sensitive to the fact that those that still remain within the mining location must so remain primarily because in terms of the program of the activities relating to mining, they are not immediately threatened. That's number one. Number two, obviously they will have all the necessary comforts with respect to grazing land and farming land, as the case may be. And most importantly, the preparatory process with respect to the housing units which they have to move into must also be complete. So it's not a haphazard process. It's a very systematic process. So even if someone is still in the mining concession as we speak now, they are going to be moving. And they'll be moving to the very well-structured settlement. It has been subjected to the scrutiny of the Kimberley process. Successive review visits have been to other Transvaal. I'm also aware that ADBA, even the ministers, of ADMA were at Ada Transao. Ada Transao is very difficult to criticize from a very uninformed perspective, because it is quite a world-class settlement project.